Week 1 Nemechek Protocol Update. Any changes? Welcome to this video, where I'll be sharing my Week 1 update on following the Nemechek Protocol. If you're just starting out or considering this journey, this update offers a real-life perspective on the process, including any progress, challenges, and a few answers to your pressing questions. Whether you've already started or are just curious, I hope this video gives you the clarity and encouragement you need. In this video, I'll cover 3 main areas: any changes I've noticed so far, the practical challenges of sticking to the protocol, and answers to your most frequently asked questions. Let's dive in. Starting a new protocol like this is exciting, but it's also an adjustment. The first few days were mostly about getting used to the routine, taking the oils, supplements, and other elements of the protocol, and just paying more attention to how I was feeling. I kept reminding myself that this is a process, and it's important to approach it patiently. Some people report changes immediately, while others might take longer to notice anything. So while I made it a point to observe and document everything, I also stayed realistic about not expecting instant results. Let's talk about whether I've noticed any changes so far. Improvements. During the first week, I felt a slight improvement in my overall focus and mental clarity. I wouldn't call it a dramatic shift, but it was enough to make me stop and wonder if it was related to the protocol. My sleep patterns also seemed a little more consistent, which I know is a common early benefit for some. Physical changes. As far as physical changes go, I noticed an occasional sense of increased energy. Mornings especially felt slightly less sluggish. However, I wouldn't say this was constant every day. No noticeable changes? For the most part, it feels like it's too soon to tell how much of a long-term impact this protocol might have. This didn't surprise me, as I knew starting out that many of the deeper changes take time to unfold. Side effects. Now let's address side effects. Personally, I didn't experience anything major, but there were a few minor issues. For instance, there was a little digestive discomfort early in the week, which might have been my body adjusting to the oils. It resolved itself quickly after a couple of days. If you're someone who tends to react strongly to dietary changes, it's worth being mindful of how your body is responding and adjusting where needed. Next, let's talk about sticking to the protocol. Compliance is an issue many people are curious about, and I completely understand why. It's one thing to know what the protocol says, but it's another to stick to it every single day. Here's what my first week looked like. Taste and reactions. The most common question I've heard about compliance is, what does the fish oil or olive oil taste like, and is it difficult to take? Personally, I didn't struggle too much with the taste, but I know that some people might find it a bit off-putting. To make it easier, I took my oils alongside meals, so any strong taste got masked. Staying on track. Developing a routine was another hurdle, especially in the beginning. Remembering to take everything at the right time required some adjustment. To make it easier, I set reminders on my phone and made sure everything I needed was in one space, ready to use. Tips for adjustments. One small adjustment that helped was starting with smaller doses for the oils and working up, rather than jumping in too quickly. This felt gentler on my system and helped with consistency. Overall, compliance wasn't as difficult as I thought it might be, but it did take some planning to make it seamless. A big part of this journey is community, so I also wanted to take some time to answer your most asked questions so far. If I miss your question, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll do my best to address it in the next update. Dosage. One of the most important questions I've seen is about getting the dosage right. Everyone's situation is different, so I'd encourage speaking to a healthcare professional if you're unsure about how much to take. For me, I started with smaller doses to let my body adjust before moving to the recommended amounts. Slow and steady wins the race here. Sourcing the protocol ingredients. Many of you have asked about where to find high-quality fish oil, olive oil, or the probiotics mentioned in the protocol. This part can be tricky because not all products are created equal. It's crucial to find reputable brands with third-party testing to ensure you're getting exactly what the protocol calls for. I'll link some resources I found helpful in the description for you to check out. Addressing concerns. Some viewers have asked if there are risks to starting the protocol, especially without a professional's input. While the ingredients themselves seem generally safe, it's always wise to consult a doctor, especially if you have underlying conditions or take other medications. I can't stress enough how personal this protocol is. What works for me might not work the same way for someone else. Reflecting on this first week, here are a few key things I've learned. Patience is key. This protocol isn't a quick fix. Meaningful changes often take time, so don't get discouraged if you haven't seen significant results yet. Document your progress. Keeping a journal has been incredibly helpful for tracking subtle changes, side effects, and thoughts about the day. Without it, I might have overlooked some small improvements. Consistency is everything. Treating the protocol as a daily habit rather than an experiment made it easier to stick to. If there's one big takeaway, it's this: trust the process. It's a journey, and just like any meaningful change, it comes with its ups and downs. To everyone watching who might be starting or considering the protocol, remember that this is your journey. Don't compare your progress to anyone else's. It's okay if you're experiencing changes faster or slower than others. If you hit a roadblock, don't hesitate to reach out to the community or seek professional advice. Progress isn't always linear, and sometimes the small, unseen changes are the ones that matter most in the long run. We're all learning and navigating this process together, so take the pressure off yourself and give it time. As I head into week 2, I'm excited to see whether the subtle improvements I noticed this week continue to build. I'll also focus on refining my routine and paying closer attention to side effects or adjustments along the way. In future updates, I'll share more personal insights as the protocol continues, so be sure to stick around if you're interested in following along. Thank you so much for watching and joining me on this journey. If you found this video helpful, please take a second to like it and share it with others who might benefit from learning about the Nemechek Protocol. Do you have more questions about the protocol? Or maybe you've started it yourself and want to share your own experiences? I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss next week's update. Let's navigate this together, one step at a time. See you in the next update.